Yeah.
Hey, it's Nick from Eliette's Music Academy, and I'm here to talk to you about how to tune your drums. This is something that I learned by myself growing up, and there was a lot of trial and error to get my drums sounding the best I could get them. And over time, I've developed more skills and learned more ways about how to do this. Ultimately, it's great to follow your instinct, and when you've got it in a position where you're happy with the sound, go with that. Okay, what I'm going to do first, we've got our tom 1 here. This is what I'm going to start with, and I'm going to detune with my drum key. I'm going to detune all of these lugs, right? These screws here are called lugs, and so I'm going to loosen all of these off. All right, this drum in particular has 5 lugs. Some drums have 6, some have 8. Just depends on the drum. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to stretch out the drum head. Now, you may have put a brand new drum head on this. I'm just using the one that was already on here, and I'm just going to stretch it out a tad. You would more likely do this when you've got a new drum head, just to stretch the glue out. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to finger tighten all of the lugs. Cool. Now if I hit this drum, it's going to be really dead sounding. There won't be much tone to it at all. If you like that, that's cool, but I probably would tune it. Alright, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to start with my bottom lug here. I'm going to tune going by a half turn, which means I'm going to turn this drum key around to the other side. And then I'm going to go up to the top. So you want to go opposite each time. Then I'm going to go across. I'm going to go across here. I'm going to go across to here. Okay, now I'm going to see how that sounds. The goal is we want each one of these lugs to be tuned the same. So we want them to all be at the same level so we get a nice even sound. So I'm just going to go one more time. I'm going to go another half turn. So it's sounding a little bit low. Let's give this a go. Alright, that's now sounding really high. So I'm going to detune this just a little bit. I'm going to go down a quarter turn. Again, this is personal preference. I don't like my drums tuned too high. And let's check what this sounds like. Sounds pretty good. Okay, so a way to know that your lugs are all nice and even is if you put your finger in the middle of the drum and you tap on each lug. So then we have this here. Try avoid hitting the cymbal, you don't need that. Notice that this one here is a little bit lower. Just tune that up a little bit. That sounded pretty good. You also notice there's a little bit of tape on here. If you put a bit of tape on, it just helps with the overtone of the drum. So rather than it going boom, it just goes boom, which again, personal preference, that's what I like. Cool. And you can go up or down until you get your desired sound, whatever you're happy with. Cool. Now I'm just going to talk about tuning the floor tom. I've already pre-tuned this one. I followed the same steps as when we tuned tom 1. The difference is with our floor tom, it's going to be a lower tone than our tom 1. If we had a middle tom as well, we would be aiming for that sound where we get a nice doom, doom, doom. We want it to be a nice even interval all the way down. Because I just have 2 toms here, I've got this nice interval here.